Well, we asked, and Scott Razor Robertson has delivered. However, can he finish off the year with a win? Scott Robertson has just named his team to face Wales for the last game of 2025. Let's see if my predictions were right, and let's see how people feel about this. So up front, Tamaiti Williams, Samisani Tokiaho, Basilio Tosi. This front row has been benched through the whole Northern Tour, and it'll be really good for them to start, and so we can see what they can do. Also really good to have Ethan de Groot and Cody Taylor rested, because they've really put it all in this year. Into the locks, Scott Barrett, Fabian Holland. Knew Fabian Holland would be there. Well, actually, I assumed Fabian Holland would be there. Scott Barrett, I'll be honest, I didn't really think they'd drop him, but, Scott Barrett's there. Into the loosies, Simon Parker, Duplessis, Karifi, Wallace Satidi. No Adi Savia. Adi Savia has been rested for this game, which I think is good because he has done so much for the All Blacks this year, and it'll be really good for him to just have a rest. 9-10, completely different, Cortez and Damien. That'll be after Cam Roygaard went off with a ankle injury, and Beauden Barrett had an injury last week. A completely new midfield with Anton Leonard-Brown and Rico Ioane returning back into the starting side in centre. On the wings, we've got Caleb Clark and Will Jordan. Will Jordan being named as vice-captain. And at fullback, after everyone's been asking all season, Ruben Love is starting at fullback. Onto the bench, George Bell returns back in black after a year. Fletcher Newell, George Bauer. Lock cover is Josh Lord, with Christian Leo Willie covering loose forwards. Finlay Christie is back in the side, along with Lester Fainga'anuku back from last week off the bench, and Sevu Reece is back for the All Blacks. A few big names left out, so let's start there. Adi Savia left out completely. I assume he's being rested, or he could be carrying an injury. We did see him limp around for a little bit last week, although he did play the full 80. Will Jordan back on the wing. Let's see how much damage he can get done out there, because, man, he is a weapon when he gets ball in hand. Cortez, I didn't really think he fired last week, but we'll see if he can do well this week against Wales, who are just fresh off a win, by the way. Damian McKenzie, starting again, back at first 5. Hopefully he'll play pretty well so that Beauden has some competition. I feel like Damian and Ruben will possibly chop and change through the game. Quintu Paia also dropped after last week's performance, which honestly wasn't that great, but Christian Leo Willie back in the side after he dominated in the French series and went on and played for the All Blacks 15 this season. Peter Larko won't be dropped. He'll be getting a rest because he's been firing really well this season. And I think it'll be good for him to get a rest, although I do think it would have been really good to see Wallace, Larkai, and Duplessis playing all together in the loose forwards, and then taking Duplessis off, Peter Larkai to 7, and Christian Leo Willie at 8. I think that would have been really cool, but, maybe it's just not meant to be. I know this was never going to happen, but David Havili? No David Havili? Come on, Razor. I know you love that guy. What are you doing? Overall, I think this is a good team, but can they actually get the job done? I really don't know. And that's been a question that's been lingering all season long. It's really good that Razor has finally switched it up, but I really think he could have gone bolder with some of these selections. Hopefully, we can get a really good win to finish off the year. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.